So the two most common questions I get before the lawn season starts are one, when does the season actually start? When can you get out and start doing some stuff? And the second one is from people who are thinking about leveling their lawn, but they're not quite sure when to start, what to do, what material to use. So I thought I'll address those questions in a video. So for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Sam and I'm an average Joe lawn nut. And as I said, I have two questions I get asked a lot before the season starts. So today I will be addressing those questions. I will also be giving you an update on the lawn and why I think last season was kind of rough on the lawn, at least my lawn. And also I got a new toy that I've been using for a while. I'll show you what the toy is, but I made a separate video on it, so that video will come out shortly, but I'll give you a hint what the toy actually is. So stick around until the end for that. So when does the season actually start? And that's such a hard question to actually answer because it's so weather dependent. Let's take Sweden for instance. It's such a long country. So for the people in the south of Sweden who have higher temperatures, their season might have already begun. But for us further up north, we haven't even begun our season and it will be a while before we actually can begin. Since we do have lower temperatures here, we still had snow last weekend, so it's gonna be a while. So the obvious answer to this question is, I mean, when you start mowing your lawn, when you feel the need to actually mow the grass because it's been growing, that's actually when the season starts. But if you do want to get more technical about it, you could stick a thermometer down into the soil and see what temperatures you have. I've done that, so let's have a look and see what temperature I have. All right, so this is my thermometer. Well, now it's set on pH. Well, the pH is actually looking good, but let's switch it over to temperature. There you go. So as you can see, it's 0 degrees Celsius, so 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So as you can see, my temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, so I am nowhere close where I can actually start my season. Season start would be 8 degrees Celsius, so you could always stick a thermometer down and see what temperatures you have, and you need about 8 degrees before the grass comes out of dormancy. All right, moving on to the second question. So how do you plan out a lawn leveling project? So if you want to level your lawn, for me, it starts right here. There are things you could do right here that makes it easier when the season actually starts, when you're leveling your lawn. So let me show you guys. All right, so as you can see, I am nowhere close enough to actually be able to level a lawn looking like this. I have ways to go before the season actually starts. But there are things that you can use to your advantage when the lawn looks like this. So when everything is dormant, you don't have any grass growing, everything is just lying down, it's a perfect time to kind of go low, taking pictures of the lawn or even filming it. Then you can actually spot the low spots, which are really hard to actually spot when the grass is growing. So just looking at this, I can tell that here, right here, I have a low spot. And over there by the edge, I can see that here it's going a bit down. Over here again, I can see a low spot. So then you can actually mark these out. So when you do start leveling, it's easier for you to identify exactly where you actually need to level. Because if you don't do it this way, then it's actually really hard. Then you kind of need to level off the entire thing, and maybe you don't actually need to do that. I mean, it's quite a big project to level a lawn, and I've done it several times, so trust me, it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of time and you need a lot of material. So if you can actually minimize the spots you actually need to level off, it will save you a lot of time. So if you're planning on doing that, then just go out, take a picture of the lawn, just get low so you actually see the low spots, and then just mark them. Then of course the follow-up question for when you're leveling is what kind of material to use. And across the forums I can see when people ask that question, there's sand everywhere. Just use sand, buy a lot of sand, you need this sand, just get more sand. Sand. And it kind of annoys me because, I mean, sand, sure, it is a good material to level off a lawn, and golf courses use it, but they use it for a special reason, and they have employees that take care of the lawn on a daily basis. So it's not really suitable for homeowners, at least not according to me, because sand is a dead material. It doesn't contain any nutrients, it doesn't hold any nutrients, it doesn't hold water that well, so it's not always beneficial to just use sand. So if you ask me, I would use a material that has sand mixed in it. Of course, you need the sand, but not only sand. So when I level off my lawn, I use a material called K-Dress. So it's about 60-70% sand, and that the rest is just natural material. So I would highly recommend that you don't use purely sand to level off your lawn. And also, one very important note, it is not just one-off thing that you need to do and then your entire lawn is leveled off and you're happy. I mean, look at my lawn. You saw all the low spots, and I've leveled off my lawn pretty much every year almost in different spots. I've done 2 huge leveling projects, and it still has those low spots. I mean, it does happen every year. You get a lot of snow, you have traffic on it, and things just start shifting. I mean, material does shift in the lawn, so it's not a one-off thing. You just level it off and it stays like that forever. All right, so let's move on to why I think last season was kind of rough, for my lawn at least. I know a lot of people thought the last season was great, but for my lawn it was pretty rough, and the season kind of ended pretty abruptly. I got sick a couple of times and the weather wasn't perfect, so I didn't make any last videos like I usually do. I just ended the season. But basically what I pretty much ended the season with is what I always do. I just rake up all the leaves, make sure that there's not much debris left on the lawn, and then I continued on with my fall fertilizer, which doesn't have a lot of nitrogen in it. I know a lot of people like to use nitrogen, but for me, I mean, the roots of the grass will keep the nitrogen it needs for next season. It stores it in the roots, so there's actually no need to push growth or push that much nitrogen that late in the season. So I use a fall fertilizer that doesn't have that much nitrogen in it, and then I gave it a last mow just before it went into dormancy, just to keep it at a height that I want. But that's basically it. I didn't do much more than that. So then why was last year so rough? I mean, we broke all kinds of weird records last year in Sweden. I think we had a month where we broke the record for the most amount of rain we've had. And I mean, that was crazy. We had like rain for 30 days straight. And I'm not talking about a little bit of rain like today, it's just drizzling. I mean, a lot of rain. That was a lot of rain coming down. And of course, that's not good for the lawn. I mean, you do want rain, then you don't have to water the lawn, but not that much. I mean, come on. And then we broke another fun record for the months in October and November. I think we had the least amount of sun we've ever had. So I think October and November, each month had about 8 hours of sun for the entire month, which is really not a lot. And I mean, for a country that already struggles with light that late in the season or late in the year, getting that low amount of sun that's just depressing, man. Those months weren't fun at all. And I mean, that's kind of the point. That's why the season ended abruptly. You don't have a lot of sun, you had a lot of rain. I mean, you go to work, it's dark, you come home, it's dark. It's not that much fun to go out and shoot a video. And of course, I mean, your lawn isn't gonna do the best when it doesn't have sunlight, direct sunlight, especially ryegrass, which I have. It needs a lot of sunlight to actually be at its best. And also this winter we broke records for having the most amount of snow we've had. We're breaking records all the time. Maybe not the best records when it comes to lawn care. All right, enough about last year. So let me show you what toy I've actually got. So I've got this last year and I've used it for about 4 or 5 months before the season ended. And I planned to do a video about it, but again, the season ended kind of abruptly. So the video will come out shortly, but let me just give you a hint what I actually got. All right, so I've tried to protect all the cables and stuff like that with a plastic bag for all the snow. But I actually got a new RoboMower, and it's in the same place as the old one, but that's actually a lube up, so this time I don't have to worry about any wires, any boundary wires or guide cables or anything like that. But before I wanted to release a video, I actually wanted to test it and try it out for a long period of time. I mean, these things, you start getting annoyed with them after a while. You see stuff happening over and over again. If something happens just one time, and I might miss it and say it's awesome anyways. So that's why I actually wanted to test it for a while before I actually gave you an opinion. but I feel like I've done that, so that video will come out shortly. Other than that, I'm really looking forward to the season. My RPR didn't do that well last year. A lot of it in the front actually died off. So I'm really curious to see how it will do this year, especially with the record amount of snow we've had. And also, I planted a little spot of a new type of ryegrass from DLF, tetraploid ryegrass, and it's supposed to handle winter better or cold conditions. I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any difference, or maybe everything in the front dies, who knows. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have to reseed the entire thing, and then we'll see if I will continue on with ryegrass or if I may actually add something else to the mix. So I don't know, we'll see. Let's just wait for the season to start, and then we'll see what happens. All right, as you can see, my lawn season is gonna take a while before it actually starts, but my YouTube season starts with this video, and I'm super excited because I've been dying to make videos again. It's so much fun, and hopefully you want to tag along. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you guys for watching.